Welcome to another exciting edition of Everything Else. I am Marcus the Grand Finale, and being gunned down and gunning in his own home is not one, not two, but three faces of Jemal. Jemal, how you doing today?
I'm alive.
Hey!
I'm alive.
Victory right there, right off the jump. All right, let's get into things right away. Today we're going to talk about WrestleMania 40. We're going to give our predictions for WrestleMania. Now, after the Royal Rumble, I think this is where it sparked this conversation with me, and I kept having it in my head nonstop. And it wasn't after WrestleMania. I knew exactly what was going to happen. I was like, Seth is going to fight Punk. Cody's going to fight here. EO's going here. And then one day, Punk is injured. Bayley decides she's questioning she should fight EO or Rhea, and it goes back and forth and all that. So I was wondering, what the hell is going to be on this card? Who's main eventing WrestleMania? What's going to be the undercard? Who's not making the card? They've been limiting time with pay-per-views. Who they're going to cut? Where they're going to cut? So that's what sparked this conversation. I immediately texted them all. I need you to book WrestleMania for Wednesday, quick. I know we can do. We got tape shows in the middle of this, but we need to book WrestleMania right away. I need to figure this out. So that's what we're here to do. Talk this out. Talk this through to see what the hell is WrestleMania going to look like. And Jemal, I'm going to start with you. What does WrestleMania look like, and what are your thoughts in general?
Well, obviously, the Royal Rumble is the start of the road to WrestleMania. So, seeing both Cody, congrats to Cody winning the Royal Rumble for the second time, two-time Royal
Two-time,
Rumble
back
winner,
to
back
back.
to back, trying to, get that Shawn Michaels rub, the Stone Cold rub. um, Shout out to Bayley. I knew Bayley was gonna do it. Finally,
I never
about goddamn
believed.
time. Get the
Never
respect that you
believed.
deserve.
Bayley, Bayley was
I
still the
said
only
that
one in the
shit.
ring, and I was waiting for someone to throw her out.
Yo, I was saying that Bayley was gonna win the Royal Rumble since SummerSlam last year. Stop playing with me. I said it first. I've been saying it the whole time, the whole year. I was like, yeah, Bayley's gonna win the Royal Rumble. I just don't know who she's gonna fight, whoever the champion is, or blah 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 blah. But the way how this damage control thing is going, she's looking like she's about to be on the outs. I don't know what that timeline looks like, but I do know at the end of the timeline that will be either your opener or your closer for night one of WrestleMania. EO Bayley for the title. You know, it's going to be the opener or the closer for
Oh,
night
so you
one.
have EO Bayley night one opening or closing the show. I have them on my card as well for night one, but I have them like somewhere in the middle. I didn't really put it in order, but I know I'm like, with all due respect to both women, I do feel like it doesn't have the prestigious Rhea, who has a title on this card, or any of the other titles that they're fighting with, because they have to build the tension between either EO and Bayley before I get hyped for this. We're still months away, so I don't feel like the tension's there right now. They haven't jumped her out of damage control, which is going to happen either this week, next week, the week after, or a month from now.
It might be right before the Elimination Chamber. It might be freaking, well before that. And,
I kind of
you
want it
know,
to be a week before WrestleMania, and then she's like, you know, you pissed me off. I was going to fight Rhea. You pissed me off. Now I'm fighting you. I'm fighting you. The hell with this.
that throws a cog in the Raw machine. And I don't know, the Raw has to figure out a definitive number one contender. That's the issue, and they have to do it for both belts because we know god dang well that Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns is going at each other at night two, main event, WrestleMania. Do it again. Finish your story
Finish your story again.
again.
Try again. Try again to finish your story. So what else do you have on your night one?
Night one, there's like a lot of different type of matchups. I do have Damage Control, the Kabuki Warriors, as we were talking about. The women's tag titles match should be on the same night as Bayley because Damage Control are the women's tag team champions, so they should be on the same card. So I believe there's going to be a mixed match, like a four-way between like the Kabuki Warriors, maybe Shayna and Zoey, Katana Chance and Kayden, who they beat for the titles, Chelsea and Piper. Like, these are the tag team division that has built this going on. I mean, Shayna and Zoey is making a strong case for being a tag team. Kayden and Katana has been a tag team since NXT. I don't like them as a tag team at all, but like, the results don't lie. Like, they're NXT tag team champions, they're former WWE women's tag team champions, they got the Bayley belts. So, and Chelsea and Piper, even Piper, not Piper, Chelsea dealing with the Sonya Deville injury, making Piper her tag team partner was probably a good thing, because we don't know what that Sonya Chelsea was going to look like. So they did a good job on picking up Piper, and Piper has been on television and doing the damn thing, getting some type of credit that she does deserve. So, that's definitely going to be on a night one basis. Another match that they should like really, I don't know if they should like just cank it all together or it has to have a blow off. It's gonna be the Legado del Fantasma versus the LWO. Like, Rey Mysterio comes back or some shit like that. Like, it has to end. There has to be a definitive end to this.
So the whole Latino division of SmackDown, and I was trying to figure out where the hell do I put all this? Like Legado versus LWO, because it seemed like they're going there, and I was like, you know what? Maybe this will fizzle out by then, and they're not going to make the show, and maybe or they have some type of offshoot on SmackDown. Like, that was my whole thing with this. I couldn't figure out how this works in or who they're going to add, especially since Andrade went to Raw. I thought he was going to get into that mix too, and maybe take over the lead of the LWO since Rey Mysterio's out. But that changed when he went to Raw. So I have no idea where I was going to put them now. I was like, they're off my WrestleMania. And when it came to the tag team, go ahead.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
When it came to the women, I had to think of like, the fuck? I don't know what to do with the Kabuki Warriors at all. Like, I know they can have this giant match, but I'm like, I don't think I want that. I don't think I, really need that. So I decided to give them a straight up one-on-one tag match between Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair teaming up. But then I went back and forth because I also wanted Naomi. I could have went either way with this, and she could have had a partner, but I couldn't think of a partner for her at all. I couldn't. I was like, you're off. And they're going against the Kabuki Warriors for the women's tag team titles, though. Jade Cargill and Bianca. Bianca doesn't have a spot technically on the card. It could be a nice way to introduce Jade, who isn't the best in the ring. Still green. She can go and do her spots. This can help her be on the road and wrestle, but yet not actually do as much. And then it can lead to her just being like, whack, with a chair to Bianca eventually and start their feud for, the new year.
We'll see. I have this, your idea, the same idea. Like, I do have Jade and Bianca teaming up way before WrestleMania. And then the turn happens to where, like, they're earning their way as a tag team. And then, Jade does the turn. And then that is the build up for a night 2 match with the dream match per se. This would be like the dream match that people wanted to see, the Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. Like, I think they're gonna face each other sooner than later, and it should be on a big stage. Both women of color over here. It's black on black crimes, but at the same time, it's like two great African American women just showcasing, like, we here, we live, we doing it. Like, that hasn't been seen since Sasha Banks and Bianca at night 1 WrestleMania after COVID Mania. So
and then I went back and forth. I was going to team them and then have them fight, and then I had them do separate matches. My separate match which I think is more than likely may happen actually in reality than my tag match, but I bumped it because of this, and then I lost a wrestler. Basically, I lost Nia Jax in this one. I was gonna have Jade Cargill versus Nia Jax. Then I thought about it. And I was like, someone may die in the middle of that, and then I was like, maybe this Impact deal work together. I can have Bianca versus Jordan Grace, but I doubt if it's going to work like that.
Well, see, that all depends on what is the actual relationship between TNA and WWE, because you know, that's a great thing to think about. Like, you know, you could get some of these TNA girls over there to have like a TNA WWE thing, where like some of the WWE people, the Natalia, the like, you know, Naomi is the gateway through, and Jordan Grace will be the gateway through to Impact. So like, you know, have them do something along those lines to have a WrestleMania match. So that would be pretty cool to see. But I don't know who Jordan Grace's partner would be. I don't know who, like, you know, Naomi or Natalia or
It's all
something,
these mixes.
something. So many variables. So where do
All
you
right.
see the United States champ Logan Paul all concussed and stuff like that? Where you see this
I
guy at?
have I have Logan Paul on night 2 in
Oh,
a yep, I have him in a match that again it's got harder and harder to find people, like places for people, and like some of the major stars. Like, so for him, I argued over should it be LA Night, which I've been saying for months is probably going to be LA Night. But then at the last second, I was like, you know what? I don't think I want to do that. I think they look for WrestleMania moments, and I think Randy Orton RKOing Logan Paul after he does some type of dive or jump or something would be the moment. And then Randy Orton wins the United States title. I don't even know if Randy's ever even held that title. I think he's held the Intercontinental a bunch of times, but the United States title may be a title he may have never held, and they can pitch that story.
you know what? I'm kind of thinking back, and I don't think that Randy Orton has held the United States Championship. And as I was mentioning earlier before the show, that championship is not it doesn't have any luster, it doesn't have any muster behind it. I mean, like, they tried, like, you know, Rey Mysterio, Austin Theory, freaking, you know, slapping it on Logan Paul, like, you know, they're trying, but it's not hitting, it's not cutting the mustard at all.
Logan Paul's
So
bringing back that title, baby. He's bringing it back. He's saving it.
so
I support Logan bringing it back because I'll be honest, I never cared about the U.S. title. I know it has this long history of everybody holding it and whatnot, and whether it's from WCW to WWE. I just never cared. I always thought it was a secondary to the Intercontinental title, even when it's prime. The only time the U.S. title actually meant a lot to me was maybe it's a little bit in Bobby's run, but not as much. But during John Cena's open challenge was probably it. To me, that was the end,
and
and the only time I've
even
ever
when John
cared.
Cena even when John Cena held it back in 2004, 2005 or whatever, not even when he beat Big Show at WrestleMania 20, when he changed it to a spinner belt, and, like, you know, that
Yeah,
era of US championship, that was peak. You know, it was
yeah.
good. Like, people wanted to win that belt. People wanted to go after it. And I don't know if it's a tribulation of Raw versus SmackDown, or, you know, it's John Cena's come up. Even after the come up, like you said, the open challenge, I still have you know, the Champ is Here United States Championship t-shirt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I still got that shirt. Like, that
Yeah.
shit was
That's
fire.
that was only matter with John Cena, I feel like.
and
Scene.
and the fact that what John Cena made that title mean, like, you know, that was the, all right, you know, you're not here yet, kid, but face me. So
Yeah.
imagine the people in NXT that had opportunity. Like, this was like prior to Sammy being a staple, prior to Kevin being a staple, prior to Kevin Owens. Like, a lot of guys had gotten super opportunities just facing John Cena, let alone beating him or not beating him and whatever not. I mean, Rusev Miro came out on a fucking tank with
Yeah.
this
You know what? That
at
yeah.
WrestleMania. Like, come on, bro. Like,
Forget about Rusev and his little run too. Like, but again, the Logan Paul match, I was like, this is the biggest it's gonna get is with Randy. Like, the title hasn't meant much, and It's an easier out. Where do you have Rhea Ripley and her opponent, and who's Rhea's opponent on your list?
I have Nia Jax. I have Nia Jax versus Rhea Ripley night 2, unless they do something with someone. I don't know who on Raw. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Unless they have like an underdog. I mean, Liv Morgan has a strong case to now that I'm thinking about it, Liv Morgan has a strong case to go after a Rhea Ripley because before Rhea Ripley did the Judgment Day thing, she was in a flailing tag team with Liv Morgan, and she fucked
Oh
Liv
boy.
Morgan up. So there's history there. Hey, and then obviously Liv Morgan being the number 2 both times in the Royal Rumble, these last 2 Royal Rumbles, the final 2 both times. It's not cutting the mustard. I have to go after the big dog, no pun intended, but the final boss, Rhea Ripley. And if you want somebody to watch you, Liv Morgan, go after Rhea, and then make a name for yourself, girl. I don't like
So,
you. I can't
so
stand
I
you.
know,
You're
I know,
from Jersey,
yeah.
but
I'm
it's
gonna
not
agree,
even
but
it's not even hate from Jersey. Some of my good friends are from Jersey, but I can't stand you. But
okay,
this is
I get it. I know. Bullet Club for Life Live. But who is Liv the opponent, or is it Nia?
it's gonna be Nia,
Okay,
but
because I wasn't sure. I was like, I was like, you said Nia right away, and then it was like all Liv, and I was like, wait a minute, did he switch it?
no, I'm not switching. No,
Okay.
Nia Jax is the force right now. She's literally the only person that has been putting mommy on her back. Mommy's always on top of my ass. That's what she said.
But that is true. That's why, I think that they're not going to WrestleMania. They are going to do that in Australia, in Rhea's hometown, in front of whatever amount of people in Australia, in Perth. And
Rhea
because
ain't
Rhea's
losing
going to
that
get
match.
chilled. I know, she ain't losing. She's
Rhea's
not
not
losing.
losing that match. I don't
Rhea's
care.
not losing anytime soon.
No. And
She's going to go to
even with the
Australia,
match,
wave
even
flag, and
even
cheer.
with the match at WrestleMania, Rhea's not losing that either. Sorry, not sorry.
Rhea's going for the I believe the longest reign anyway, and I think that's why they've limited her matches and opponents anyway. Because they're like, oh, we got about a year or so
That
to keep
injury bug
going.
is crazy in WWE right now.
Yeah, and
Injury
I think
inactive.
yeah. So Nia Rhea makes more sense to me in Australia, where she's going to get universally cheered. She's technically still a heel. And then
Yeah.
at WrestleMania, I have Rhea versus Becky, and Becky winning the Elimination Chamber for the women and going to go fight Rhea as the number 1 contender. And then they can
So you
set
think
that up
the Elimination
at
Chamber
Mania.
match is going to be a number 1 contender match, and you think that Rhea Ripley is going to main event Perth with Nia Jax? That's what you think?
Yeah. If I was a betting person, that's what I would do. And then you set it up with the start of the match being the women's elimination chamber or whatever, and Becky winning that one. And then the main event is Nia and Rhea with a nice booking. And then, you can have that stare down over the WrestleMania side. And then you build it up in front of all those people. Crowd's going to go crazy. It'd be a nice ending to the Australian show.
A lot of those people that's going to Perth is going to go to WrestleMania. They're going to follow mommy.
Not as many. They are,
Bro,
but not as many. It's
you know
not
how
going to be
many people
40,000 or
across the
whatever they
globe
got.
go to WrestleMania, no matter where the fuck it is? I was here. What was it? When was the last New York WrestleMania?
35.
Son, the influx of like foreigners that came just for the fact of WrestleMania. Like I was on the fucking train like the week of WrestleMania and going to work and come just so many
Yeah, but they're not gonna all be Australian.
No, I'm just saying the influx of
yeah. It's crazy.
jeez. It's a lot.
Everybody comes
It's a
everywhere. Yeah.
lot. New York is a melting pot and then they're freaking overwhelming the system
Yeah, it just throws everybody in there. Just for every WrestleMania, it's always like, where'd you travel? Hey, you really committed to you did both nights. What? How much you pay? What? You crazy? You got too much money. Were you sitting up here with me? I understand because you had to pay a bunch to get here. But the ones that are down there, I'm like, oh man, y'all crazy. Y'all got crazy money. But let's see. So we were talking earlier about there were a lot of places where you couldn't find where people were going to fit, what you're going to do with them. So that's why, last year they had the quote unquote the WWE showcase matches, whatever they were called. I'm doing that for night 1 and night 2. I'm doing a men's showcase and a women's showcase. This is stepping in for the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, which seems to be always like on SmackDown for me. So I threw a bunch of fools in this match. It's 5-on-5, and it's Team Raw versus Team SmackDown, bringing back the old theme of the pay-per-view bragging rights, because they have been teasing this Nick Aldis Adam Pearce rivalry, which has been going on every week about, I signed Andrade, and he's like, I got a call from Breaker. And so I'm thinking we're going to build to that. So I have Team Raw being Andrade, Bronson Reed, Ricochet, and Alpha Academy against LA Knight. This is where I found a spot for LA Knight, Braun Breaker, and Bobby Lashley's and the Pride, as they call themselves, and the Street Profits. Because I feel like we had to fit one of these factions in somewhere, and I figured the Pride would be in there. So it's 5-on-5. Get a faction, size and spots.
I would switch the Pride, if they are calling themselves that, with the Final Testament, actually, if they want to fucking win. Because Bronson Reed's a problem. And, it's one thing for like Bronson versus Akam, Bronson versus Razor, but Razor and Akam, like, nah. You see what I'm saying? Like,
it's a lot of meat.
The Final Testament. Give Karrion Kross a fucking that gotta give him that little push. But people are not jacking him though. People are not jacking the Final Testament right now. So I don't know.
Neither one of these groups. I don't feel like either one of these groups are really going to thing. Whether it's Legardo, or LWO, the Pride, or the Final Testament. I was like,
the bloodline lost its luster. Like, it's a land of factions on the way to SmackDown, but there's nobody doing anything significant other than Roman being the champion. So
acknowledge.
The showcase match, like you said, I don't think that the showcase match would be like a Raw versus SmackDown. It's going to be a NXT championship match. What championship that is, I don't know. But like, it could be the NXT championship. It could be the women's NXT championship, like, the North American title. Get some spotlight to Obi and freaking, you know what I'm saying? Like, just a NXT championship match, and I believe that's going to be on night 1. That'll be the showcase match. Like, these are the guys that's coming up right now, and
I hate to throw what's his name?
Cog in the machine.
Whatever. One of those. I couldn't think of. There's a million of them, and I couldn't think of one. Like, I couldn't think. I was like, it's a cog and a screw and a wheel and a banana. What the? But NXT is having their pay-per-view the night before, and I don't see them not putting an NXT on the show after they have their own pay-per-view.
Whatever championship,
or actually day of and night before. Day of.
Look, whatever championship is not being used, or it could be part of the showcase match, like you said, like, doing the bragging rights, but they use the NXT champion.
Yeah, they could always do NXT versus main roster.
Yeah,
for the people who are left off.
So like, one free agent, who would you choose? It'd be like Andrade versus like a tag team from Raw and a tag team from SmackDown.
I don't know.
Like it's hard because, like, there's so many people that do. Yes, they work hard. They deserve to be on the card, but you don't see a spot for them. Imperium and New Day. I don't know how long that's gonna last, but that should, it should do something, but it's not going to do anything. I don't have anything for the Judgment Day right now, even though they're the tag team freaking champions. That's crazy. There's so many other storylines that's like important, and unless Damian Priest cashes in Money in the Bank, nobody's giving 2 fucks about those tag titles. They're not even unified. There's still 2 belts. Like, what the fuck? We unified all the other belts. What's going on? Like,
So this is the end. This is going to be the end of the single title belts and the end of the Judgment Day title run. I have on night 1, Judgment Day versus the Awesome Truth versus Imperium and Jimmy and Solo. So Solo and Jimmy have no spot to do, and Roman probably would want to say, "Give me the tag titles back. What the fuck are we doing here? I'm the only champion. Acknowledge the so they may go after it, and I have it being not just a regular tag team match, in honor of any TLC matches that have happened on WrestleMania. This will be a ladder match involving Judgment Day, Awesome Truth, Jimmy and Solo, and Imperium, unless Big E is healthy, and then we do New Day versus Imperium, which I don't think is happening. I don't even believe that.
Every time New Day is in a big time WrestleMania match, other than their singles, they lose.
Yeah.
Every single time. Like if we look back at League of Nations, we look back at fucking who else beat them? Like the Usos, like they get beat at WrestleMania as a team. Like, together as a team, they get beat every time. The ladder match that the Hardy Boys came back,
They can win this one though. They can win this one. I know the belts are coming off of Judgment Day night one. Because in order for that to happen, I need that to happen so Priest can just win the title and be like, yeah, I'm the champion.
Priest needs to hurry the hell up and cash in, but I'm not taking his timeline or whatever. Not so like
don't count that man's money. Don't count that man's money. He can save his money as well. Just because I get paid, I spend it right away and blow my money on something.
It has to be the right time, and the right time would either be Perth or it's going to be WrestleMania. You got Perth or Philly. After that, if you're holding the money in the bank after fucking WrestleMania, maybe for the night after the Monday Night Raw after, then cash in, then that's one thing. Like, how amazing would that be? Fucking Cody Rhodes finishes the story, and the world champion beat Roman Reigns, the one in the 1,000 whatever fucking days that Roman Reigns has held it. And then Damian Priest cashes in and takes it all away. Take it all away. Take it all away.
For the shortest reign ever, 45 seconds.
All that
you get the longest reign ever in decades to the shortest reign ever. What do you have Seth doing?
I have him going against Gunther, title for title.
Title for title.
Night one.
Who wins?
No, night two. Night two. Title for title.
Title for title. Main event.
This is why I say either E.O. Bayley is going to main event it. If this is not the main event, then it's going to be the opener to get people to watch. Hey, watch this.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Seth retains or he loses?
Shit, that I couldn't tell you. I don't know who wins this match, but seeing how Seth is all fucking hurt and injured, like his boy Phil Brooks, then it looks like Gunther could, take it and now truly be Imperium, truly be like the wrestler's wrestler. The mat will be definitely sacred. Think of all the people that as Gunther as the world champion, there's more opportunities for new people to challenge, people that you don't think is gonna. The Miz could get back in the title hunt. Bronson Reed could get back in the title hunt. Like, what I'm saying? Like, he can defend both titles. Like, I could defend the Intercontinental Championship here. You don't deserve the world, so I'll give you the Intercontinental. You don't deserve this, or do it on the big stage and stuff of that nature.
So here are my pitches for Gunther and Seth from both of them. So for Gunther, I'm going with him versus Jey Uso. Jay is not really doing much anyway. Gunther's been this dominant force. He's kind of in that beef with the New Day and stuff with him and helping him out. But I think this could be the rise of Jay winning his solo title. I think he can win the solo title, win the IC title for Gunther. Or even if he don't win, compete against him. I don't know who's going to win it. But I think it'd be a feel-good story. You got people bowing down, whatever, doing the J dance for a bit at WrestleMania. So there's no way he's not on the show. So, this was the match I split up. I was like, Jay or Jimmy, and I was like, forget that. Have Jimmy go after the tag titles, have Jay go after the Intercontinental title, and then they're both on the show, and they don't have to fight each other in some random feud match. But it could be their feud match, their blow.
No, their feud match should be blown off at SummerSlam of this year, right? Like, they got to meet in the middle somewhere and be like, you cost me being the tribal chief. I cost you because you don't deserve it, or Roman is just better, and blah blah blah, or you were my blood brother. Like
Yeah,
that story writes itself. No matter when it happens, it's gonna happen.
yeah.
It's gotta happen. Prefer it to
And
be for a
then
belt though.
and then for Seth, I'm going a completely different route. Maybe Sammy wins the men's elimination chamber match, and it's Sammy versus Seth. Sammy, putting a lot of work, but has taken
El
a back seat lately. Doesn't
Generico,
have much to do. Yeah,
El
it'd be a
Generico
big
versus
match.
Tyler Black at WrestleMania is crazy.
Yeah. And I think Sammy deserves this run because for the last few WrestleManias, he's had pretty some of the more entertaining matches, whether it's his Jackass match, his tag match last year, and then this one, if he gets to fight Seth on either the main event or somewhere on the card, I think that would be, him becoming world champion and finishing, quote unquote, his story, which people keep throwing around. I'm just saying, I got Seth and Sammy.
That's actually not a bad idea, but again, Sammy hasn't had his peak. Like, if it would have been the Roman thing in Montreal, he didn't fucking do that. So
yeah,
you know,
well, Roman has hurt everybody title chances. This Seth's title is the title for people who can't get Roman's title, and number one person who can't get it right now is Sammy, and Seth wouldn't be able to get it as well. So that's secondary. That's what it's like to be a secondary champion.
Man, look, Damian Priest needs to hurry up and become the world champion already, so that way Judgment Day could really rule WWE. Somehow they'll lose the tag titles, have actually Finn become Intercontinental Champion, have Dom and fucking JD become tag champions, and then they could really run.
Nick.
Tom and Nick.
I don't have Dominic on the. I have Dominic on. All right, I go. It's a spot.
No, Dominic is going to come out for a Rhea match or the Judgment Day match, and that's the end of that.
I feel like he should be on the card, and I have him in a different spot. This is not a match just because the WrestleMania always has random segments. So another person I also haven't brought up was Kevin Owens as well. So I got a good old fashioned Kevin Owens show, or he's hosting or whatever, and he's trying to do that shit again. And then it's a legend segment. Dominic gets beat up by a bunch of people because it is WrestleMania 40. I'm sure they'll drag out old sorry ass Hulk Hogan. Steve Austin may show up. The Rock will probably be there. They'll do this spot of them beating everybody. Rolls. Undertaker, hair,
huge
all that
eye
shit.
Rolls.
Yeah, I think that's where Dominic's gonna fit in and get beat up by Hulk Hogan or some shit, and That's where I have him and KO in that segment. They're just celebrating. They're playing real American and people doing the ears.
CM Punk gonna come out with his torn tricep and hit the GTS with one arm.
All right. So so CM Punk is not on the card anymore due to his injury. But a person who prayed for this injury, Drew McIntyre, where do you have him on the card?
Not on the card.
You're not gonna have Drew.
I don't have Big Drew on the card. If anything, he's the Andre winner of the Battle Royal that I mentioned. He's not even on the card. And then I even remember I had him on the card with Jay and Sammy with Seth, and then I changed it to the title for title. So sorry, Drew, you're not doing nothing. There's nothing for you.
I have something for Drew, and this is when I told you I'm going for gamble. I'm gambling really hard on this one. All right, Drew McIntyre will be left off the card of WrestleMania, like you said. But similar to the way Seth did a few years back when he was like, I have no opponent, and Cody came out. How about this year in a ultimate gamble and it's pending, contracts and whatever anybody ends up? What if Okada were to come out and challenge Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania on night 2?
If I hear a fucking coin drop at WrestleMania, Nick, they're working with TNA. Oh my
god! Well, he's not into. Yeah. It's a different world. Suddenly, WWE have become AEW. If Okada is doing this, and then TNA.
Oh my lord! You shut the fuck up and take my money.
Damn right! I knew I was taking everybody's money with this
camera. With the camera angle at WrestleMania, and then the camera goes in and oh man,
yeah. How else do you if you were to assign Okada, in this hush hush whatever, and maybe he's in AEW, but if you were to keep it hush hush and he signed with WWE and he showed up to fight Drew McIntyre, and for that WWE audience who doesn't watch anything other
I
than
wouldn't put
WWE,
him. I
how do
wouldn't
you
put him
establish by
against
beating
Drew.
against Drew? I'm
I
putting him
wouldn't
against
put him
Drew,
against.
whooping Drew's ass.
No. I put him against Shinsuke, something very familiar to him, so that way, like, they can have a great match, because the Shinsuke of old and the Okada of old is not the same. Like, have this Shinsuke versus this Okada, they'll have a banger, like New Japan style banger.
Yeah, but do you feel like that's the bigger impact? Shinsuke is kind of a third wheel heel right now who isn't really doing much. He'll talk a big game, he'll shoot some cartoons at you, and then he'll get his ass whooped. I want to get somebody established. I want an established WWE guy, and I want Drew to have something to complain about the next night. Talk about I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for this. He comes out to me. I wasn't going to fight tonight. I didn't want to wrestle at WrestleMania, even though he's talking about wanting to wrestle at WrestleMania. I got him
Shit,
being a hippo
man.
in the crate, and I have all that going, and then you rematch that up again at the next
Okada,
show.
son. Just Okada and like, bro. When Jordan Grace came out in the Royal Rumble, I think it was kind of a little bit bigger than Mickie James, because Mickie James is already an established WWE
Yeah.
entity. The same thing with Naomi coming out and then, being an established WWE entity. For Jordan Grace's first time that she stepped in the WWE ring, it was a Royal Rumble match as the Impact Women's Championship. I don't think people understand how important that is. And I think it's diluted because Mickie James did it a year earlier, or a year prior, 2 years prior, or whatever not. But the point is that is somebody else's champion that is on your show, and you're showcasing them as this strong entity. And man, like it wouldn't have mattered if whoever the TNA Women's Champion was. It could have been Deonna Purrazzo. It could have been anybody. Like, it could have literally been anybody. Just the fact that TNA Women's Champion, insert name here, has showed up to WWE doing whatever it is that they're doing. Like, that is, times is changing.
I think it had to be Jordan Grace. I think that was the only one they would allow, because WWE probably would have looked at her when she's fighting Naomi or whatever, and they probably looked at her before. She was a free agent earlier in the year, and they probably were interested in signing her, and they didn't get her, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And they wanted to show Jordan, "I'm going to put you in front of the biggest crowd you've ever had. If you don't want it, just get that bug. If you don't want this every single time at this Royal Rumble, we decide here with WWE, you're going to need it." So I think that was more of a, we want to sign Jordan Grace, and we can't figure out how to sign Jordan Grace. And that might be the only person they ever use on this show. Unless they make it a tradition to put the TNA champion in every women's rumble, which I'm 100%
just
100%
if you're
for
the
that
champion,
too.
you're in the
crazy.
Rumble. TNA
Women's
champion. No.
And then the one day someone win that shit, you're gonna go, "Oh shit,
bro." See, that's the thing. Like,
shake the world.
The thing about having another champion in the Royal Rumble match is the fact that they could, like, the odds are very whatever the odds are, but they could potentially win that motherfucker. So, as the champion of another company winning the Royal Rumble, going to WrestleMania to face whoever the champion is, you see, like, it writes its fucking self. Like,
but we're not here to talk about that. We got still to this Rumble. So my main event of night 2 is Cody versus Roman, and he has to finish the story. There's no point in doing this shit again.
You think that
if he's not going to do it,
you think
Cody's going to win? I think that he can lose. There's a possibility he can lose, but he has to win to justify everything
for him to win, and he lost.
They're not going to do it again.
The promo packages, Liberty out in the front, Eden out in the front, Brandy out in the front, freaking, like, like, just his family is out there. Yeah. He's got the dog. He's got motherfucking everybody and their mother out here. And he won the Royal Rumble. He's doing it for Dusty. He's doing it for him. He's about to complete this motherfucking story. And then it doesn't happen.
It didn't happen. That's why this year it has to happen. I think it has to happen. Otherwise, you wasted my time. You don't do Rocky 1 to do Rocky 1 all over again. Rocky isn't going to lose in Rocky 2. It's not going to happen. This is a silly. That's the story we're telling. Rocky ain't losing in Rocky 2. He's going to get up before the 10 count, right before Apollo. No, but it has to win. He has to win in this one. I feel like that's the only way. Like, to have him lose a second time, and all of a sudden he's the Buffalo Bills or the Detroit Lions of I can get close, but I can't do it. Or
definitely,
the LA Clippers.
Definitely would be the Buffalo Bills at that point because these niggas.
Yeah, they invent ways to lose. And well, not really. They used the same one.
It was a strong case for them, and you know how the Buffalo. What makes it terrible is that the Buffalo Bills, way back yonder, lost by a field goal.
All the time. It's all the time. Jamal Bill on this planet for almost 40 years. I've seen the Buffalo Bills lose the same way 80 different times.
Instead of Jey Uso is gonna be Jimmy. Instead of Jimmy is gonna be Solo. It's gonna be somebody. They're looking to sign. They looking to sign your boy Jacob Fatu. So don't be surprised if he fucking makes an appearance.
He makes the appearance because I have Solo and Jimmy having a falling out or being hurt after the table, ladders, and chair where they cannot help Roman. Jay's already fighting Gunther, and he's not coming out there. If they dug up Jacob Fatu or any other Fatus that are walking this planet to help Roman win this match, they're out of line, and I am done. I am done. I am not watching it again if they have Jacob Fatu show up and just hit a moonsault on Cody for no reason. Going, what the fuck, Jacob? He finishes the story. It has to end. We have to end here. Shoot. You can't do it. You can't do that unless you're really trying to piss off all of Philadelphia, all the wrestling community, and Hulk Hogan.
They can't be as pissed off as they are because they're not making the Super Bowl, so they're already pissed off. So
this is their Super Bowl. Cody has to finish the story and win the Super Bowl for the Eagles this year. I can't have it. I couldn't have it. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed our picks. Also, there was another showcase match night too. I think I said it was gonna be the women involving Chelsea Green and a bunch of other women. They just threw together.
Chelsea Green. Has she been saying it lately?
Yeah, she did it this week. She's back.
Sneaking shit. She's been
back.
Sneaking shit in there.
No, I think they said, you know what? It's okay. It's okay.
We might get one fall again.
One fall. I miss one fall. You know, it's very rare when you get the following matches for 2 falls or 3 falls. You know, you don't have to actually describe it. Like, we know how this works at this point. Yeah, it's 1 fall. Let's do a 4-way elimination match between Gunther, Seth, Cody, and Roman. Anyway, winner takes all. You know, just a thing. Thought about it.
This is WWE 2K24 territory right now.
Yeah, I thought about it. But that concludes this special episode of ETE. Put in the comments, what is your WrestleMania card? Who do you got? Who you putting money on? Or
show me the money. Money.
When me and Jemal will discuss how wrong we were on our card after WrestleMania 40 is announced.
Absolutely.
We're going to come in
None
on
of
the
this
week
is
of WrestleMania. It was like, man, so, you know, Bronson Reed got hurt.
The whole card. We done fucked up the whole card.
Bronson Reed got hurt. Gunther got hurt. Shoot, everybody. Cody showed up in the McMahon, Texas.
Don't wish that evil. Don't wish that evil on these men.
Roman and Seth showed up in McMahon, Texas. It's like, oh man, Braun Breaker's champion all of a sudden. Like, we just have to do whatever we can do. Main event of WrestleMania is Damian Priest versus Braun Breaker, and it don't make sense. You just said it's WrestleMania 40. Deal with it. But yeah, that does conclude the show. You can find Jemal doing the Mid-Card Mess podcast, the longest reigning Mid-Card Mess podcast on SoundCloud.com/3Faces of Jemal. You can see it all down here. Please like, comment, subscribe to the sharpshooter.com. Donate to the show. New merch is coming on the way very soon.
Best believe
Really
who's gonna
excited
rock
about
it. Who's gonna rock it? Your boy.
Oh, I know I'm not. I just got a podcast sweater. I said, tune into this. There's no show tomorrow for the Untitled Mania Market Show, barring international crazy wrestling event that self-explained itself that we have to be like, we got to jump on. Oh my God. Triple H has been fired or something.
Like the Vince McMahon ordeal, which is this latest episode of the Mid Card Mess podcast. I have my boy Lloyd discuss all the intricacies of it. So yeah, go peep that out.
I'm talking pee. You shouldn't make fun of the light, but the song Ignition shows up, but not his version, Dave Chappelle's version. It's a song about pissing. That's what that story is. It gets gross and disgusting as it goes on. But it's but we're back for the Saturday show featuring Eric, the meanest part of the ring, and the hater, and all that, where we will have a riveting discussion on the events of Smackdown and all of the week of wrestling this week. The full recap, full thought out recap, full, the full show. I got no words today. I don't know. That's what happens when you don't eat breakfast or sleep properly or stuff like that. You lose words. Anyway,
losing so many words. So many words.
All right, but we'll see you guys later. Tune in next week for ETE, where it's probably the 100 greatest matches of all time. I don't know which one I'm gonna put out, but it may be
you know which one you have to do, right? You know what you got to do.
I know what I gotta do.
No, you gotta put Melina versus Alicia
Fox. We're gonna find that match, the greatest match of all time. Someone has
talk about it, man. It's the greatest match of all time.
That's why I was like, for our 99, after we do 99 matches, the 100 match, Melina versus Alicia Fox, it'd be well worth the joke. The whole series was created just for that joke. Check out all of that, and we'll see you next time here on ETE.